Reading Walden slowly. Now, we're talking about Henry David Thoreau and the book that he wrote, Walden. Now, most people today, they read real fast, if they read it at all. They skim, they jump ahead, they look for the takeaway, the summary. If something doesn't make sense, just right off the bat. Now, or they'll just move on. Now, the way of reading spills into your life. Now, people, they rush the conversations, get to the conclusion, hurry, hurry. They rush decisions, they rush their own bodies. They want answers quickly, and when things don't improve fast enough, they assume something is wrong. A lot of folks feel worn down because they've been moving just way too fast for too long, even in their overall thinking. Walden doesn't work that way at all. Thoreau didn't write it just to be skimmed through. He didn't write it to entertain. He wrote it to be read slowly, the same way he lived while he was there. Now, one page at a time, one idea at a time, savor that for a bit. That alone feels strange to modern people. We're used to information quick coming at us nonstop. We're used to filling up every quiet moment with more information. Sitting with a thought long enough to let it settle feels uncomfortable, weird. That's at first. But discomfort, it isn't always a problem. Sometimes it's the motivator, it's the beginning of the understanding, it's a threshold. I've noticed that when I slow down and how I read, I also slow down how I think sometimes. I try. When I slow down how I think, my body follows. Breathing deepens, the muscles relax, sleep comes easier. It's all connected. Now, the older thinkers, they understood this without separating the mind from the body. Now, they believe that the way you think shapes the way you live. And the way you live shapes how your body feels overall. Thoreau wasn't trying to impress anyone with Walden. He was trying to see what happens when a person gives attention to their own life instead of being pulled by everyone else's expectations of them. That question still matters today. Most people today don't lack information, they lack digestion. They take in far more than they ever can process. News, opinions, health advice, fears, prompts, it all piles up. The body reacts to that overload very quickly. Sleep gets shallow, the pain lingers, as we've talked about. Then we get into the digestion, it slows, the nervous system, it stays on edge. People assume something is breaking when often the system is just overwhelmed, overstimulated. Reading slowly is a form of restraint. Now, it teaches us patience, it teaches us observation, it trains you to sit with something long enough to notice how it affects you. Now, Thoreau believed a person should examine their life carefully instead of rushing and just rushing flat through it. You know, being, you know, I believe, and Thoreau believed, and you will too when you get to the basic organics of things. And I've discovered this, that Thoreau believed that most people were too busy earning a living to notice whether they were actually living. Now, this was all happening with Thoreau when he wrote the book in the 19th century, was when we was having the industrial age. And it was a threshold into another era of the mechanics, the factories, and things booming. Now, a lot of things wonderfully that we still use today came from that, but also the adjustment to the busy life, chasing the dollar. And we still face that today. And it started back in those days, with the overwhelmingness of meeting the demands. When we went to the point of what, we just say it naturally. And when they say graveyard shift, now graveyard shift means exactly what it is. A person's working at night when their body should be sleeping in the arcadian, the system of sleeping and rendering healing to the body. It's a circadian rhythm that is important to the body. We just don't give it what it should. Now, this is all, you know, that's a hard thing to admit when you just say, you're actually busier than your life, busier than your body can handle, especially later in life. Many people reach retirement and suddenly realize they've been moving on momentum for just decades. When things slow down, questions show up. Who am I without this schedule that the world says I need? What do I do with my time now? What does my body feel? You know, what will I, what's the next step? Why does my body feel like it does? Those questions don't need fast answers. They need steady attention. Now, Walden invites that. He invites that kind of attention. Reading it slowly isn't about agreeing with everything Thoreau said. It's about practicing the skill of paying attention again. That's what I've been talking about, and that's what I'm evolving to. Noticing what rings true, noticing what doesn't, watching your own reactions. That same skill helps with health. When you slow down, you notice patterns. What helps you sleep? What makes pain worse? What foods sit well and which ones don't? What habits drain you and which ones restore you? You stop forcing answers and start observing results. Now, the older medicine worked the same way. Doctors watched, they listened, they adjusted. They didn't rush to intervene quickly unless something truly demanded it. Now, modern life has taught us to rush every single thing, even healing. Reading Walden slowly pushes you back against that habit. Now, it reminds you that clarity doesn't come from the speed. It comes from attention. And attention, it takes time. Later in life, this becomes a gift. You're no longer required to move at the same pace you once did. You can choose to slow down, to think more deeply, more carefully, more wiser, to notice things a little more detailed. It doesn't make life smaller, it makes it clearer. You don't have to read Walden quickly. In fact, it's better if you don't. Let a paragraph sit with you. Let an idea bother you a little. Let it work on you the same way rest works on the body. Now, just slow reading teaches slow living, and slow living gives the body a chance to heal. It heals the mind, a chance to settle, and faith, a chance to deepen. That's not wasted time. That's wise time. I don't have all this figured out, and I'm still working on it myself. So let's keep moving forward on this journey together. And thank you for watching.